when we last left you off, where we were stranded in Pierre, South Dakota for a couple days.
Yeah, after our tire exploded and we were kind of getting real tired of the Midwest emptiness. We were able to get another tire, but then there was a problem with the other tire and they didn't have a spare.
Long story short,
we stayed another night.
Yeah,
and
we were in some like random spot in the grass, like
it was like 30 minutes south of Pierre, and then we just drove back the next day to get the tire. But it was
a good switch up.
Yeah, it was better than being parked on the cement in this random park, and it was nice because there was a few like trees around in the area, which was good because we were driving through corn for a while and we were worried it was going to be in corn.
But it was like so hot. Like one of these clips, I'm just laying on the ground doing absolutely nothing because I was like, I can't move. Like if I move, I will die.
We're in like an oven. You stand up, feel like you're gonna fall over.
And all the grass was like hard and dead because all the there was so many grasshoppers, which was like my least favorite thing about this place.
Yeah, it would like stab your foot, but the sunset was really nice and we had some good food as always. And we're just excited to be on our way the next day. And then we were on our way.
Next day, drove to the Badlands. We saw wall drug signs like everywhere. They're like, go to wall drug, like.
Yeah, you're like driving on this road. I don't remember the name, but you're just like driving.
Everything, it's so empty except for these signs.
All you see is like wall drug. Smile, your mom chose life. Wall drug. And then it's like, we saw this like one little section of terrain or whatever, and then like the exit for wall drug was finally upon us.
So yeah, we went there. It was like Disney World kind of like.
I hated it.
Yeah, Jack hated it. He was like, I'm so ready to go whenever you want, and I was like, well, I kind of want to look around.
Some cute pictures though. Like
yeah,
it's like
it was interesting.
It's like super touristy, but like only if you're into like America like that.
We just wanted to see the land, you know. Like.
Yeah. You kind of have to drive through it, and like there's so many signs that they make it so you can't not stop by. But then anyways, we drove like 20 more minutes or something to the camp spot right outside of Badlands National Park.
Super cool spot. A lot
super
of campers.
Free.
Yeah, really free. The road up to it was like there's so many potholes. It was kind of like dicey to get there, but then we were literally on the edge of like a drop off
canyon, I guess. But yeah, and it was really cool because it was kind of our first glimpse of like this whole like nomad lifestyle type thing. Like there were so many other just campers there and vans and like so
they have all their like fancy stuff and we're just here in a
it's like
our bathroom
30-foot RV towing like a Ford F-350 towing like a go-kart like and shit like that. And it's whatever, it was still cool to see that some people were still like kind of doing the same thing as us. We saw other people in a Volkswagen van and they were super nice. And but it was hot again.
Yeah, we were kind of like, for a little while, we had that whole day to just kind of hang out at that camp spot, which, we both, prior to that, were like so excited for it. And then we found ourselves like not wanting to do anything we're interested in, like making videos or music or art or like doing yoga. Yeah,
traveling is so exhausting. Like, you literally would drive a couple hours or something, and like you drive a couple hours for like so many weeks at a time and days in a row, and then when we would get to our spot, it kind of feels just like our brains were like fried and kind of like all you want to do is like go on TikTok or something. But we were able to not to do too much scroll holing, but
we did some fun stuff. The sunset was nice again,
and ate some more good food
together.
And also at the end of the day, it's good to just kind of like, sometimes it is good to do nothing and just soak up where we're at. Like some of those views were incredible, and it's really easy to like watch it like it's TV. Like you can just keep looking at something that you haven't seen before, so it's entertaining like that. But we're so trained to like feel guilty for not being like productive, whatever that can mean, like not.
But we do talk about that a lot. Even like we're trading like that for like traveling, and like that's awesome. Like we're like that's fine. Like if that's what we're like, the part of our life we're in right now, we're like traveling and not doing some other things, we're like that's okay.
You don't have to be like working as making money. You know, work can be whatever you want it to be. Like for us, it's figuring out like what we might want to do for work. You know, that way we're less unhappy later in our lives or whatever it might mean. But
money's fake.
yeah, literally, that shit does not matter at all.
It sucks that you actually need it to survive.
And our brains are so trained from the point you're in like kindergarten about like productivity, like do this, you can always do more, you can do more and do more. And so when you get chances and moments in your life where everything kind of slows down, it feels like your body is just like, and your brain are just not happy about it for some reason. Moral of the story is fuck work. The next day though.
Yeah, the next day I woke up, went to the Badlands National Park. It was cold in the morning, but so it was kind of like eerie, I don't know.
Yeah, it was like cloudy, like overcast and freezing, honestly. Like it was our first like kind of cold moment along our journey, and it was still very Midwest. Like it was just open and flat for most parts, but like the national park itself kind of goes like up in these canyons, and then sometimes you drive down in them to look at them next to you, and everything was super impressive and expansive.
Yeah, it did get warmer, and we ended up doing this little walk like down the canyon, I don't know what to call it really, into like the kind of grassy land area, which is super cool. That's something I really wanted to do because I was like, everyone's just kind of driving on the roads like on the top of it. I want to go down in it. Like
yeah, in the Badlands National Park, there's no like, there's some, but there's no like places where you can't go like off trail. Like one of the things about the Badlands National Park is you can just walk wherever. Like there's signs that are like, oh, we encourage you to make your own path. Found ourselves in some pretty cool spots, and then we got back to the van and made some breakfast with some nice views. Like it's all really nice. And we kind of just then took the rest of the day to drive on some roads and drive through the park.
Yeah, so back to how we travel a lot. That same day we went to what was it called, Black Hills National Forest. Like I was just very anxious driving because there's so many hills.
Yeah.
And like the van goes so slow up these hills, and it's like, are we gonna make it?
And you like, there's no service. This is a stretch of our journey where like, you know, we kind of put all of our faith on the van not breaking down because there's like no service, there's no vintage Volkswagen mechanics around. Like I'm good for basically nothing when it comes to fixing the van, and like I think it was super stressing me out, like the anxiety of traveling like that without like, you know, being completely helpless and without service, and who knows where you would break down or whatever like that. But that was definitely a reason why it's super exhausting to travel like this.
The spot we got in Black Hills National Forest was awesome. Like it got
trees.
There's trees, which were definitely tree people, but it got super cold though, and that was like, God, that was painful. Like
probably like, what was it, low 40s or high 30s that night or something?
Yeah, something like that.
And like a little bit of like mist, rain at points, and wind.
We spent 2 nights there though, and the second day, like we spent one night, and that first like full day we had there was so cold.
Yeah.
It was like windy and a little rainy, and I like could not get warm the whole day, but
yeah.
I still enjoyed myself.
We were really excited about all the trees and the mountains. Like it was just a relief to be out of the Midwest. We were just really refreshed to be in the trees, and you know, no matter how much that little kid on TikTok loves to talk about corn, it's not it.
I don't have TikTok. It's bad for your brain.
It's
Brain
so
rot.
bad for you. But that being said, follow my TikTok.
Yeah.
But no, we were so relieved to be out of it. It was like a week of, it felt like years of corn.
That cold day, I was really trying to get warm, so I like did a little workout. I just had this energy suddenly to like run up the road that took us to our camp spot, and I just like ran up a little further, and there's this huge rock, so I climbed up it. Awesome view, and then we could see like Mount Rushmore from there, which like it was cool, just like very glorified America.
You can tell they weren't finished with building it.
The next day I wanted to go to like the monument of it because I was just very curious about the workers, like how long it took, why they did it, like all this stuff. I just wanted to learn about it because I was like, it's cool, yeah, it's impressive, but why did that happen?
When you're walking around, it feels like learning about American history in 4th grade, where they're kind of like, these American heroes were the best ever. Learning about the monument was even more interesting because there was like a timeline in the museum or something that was extremely like whitewashed, honestly. Like, basically said, like, the Civil War, it said the Southern soldiers were fighting for their freedoms and families, where the Northern people used the industrial tools or whatever to outstrength and outnumber them or something like that. And it just had the most based, like, angles on the history surrounding, like, the timeline of America.
The workers got paid like nothing to do this, and it was like a lot of work. Like, they don't have all the tools we have now.
The museum, like, bragged about it.
Yeah, but they were saying how the workers felt honored to do this, and it's like, maybe they did, but like,
probably not. I wouldn't have, and I don't think work has really changed much, but maybe, you know, just maybe. And also, even back then, they were getting paid more than minimum wage is worth to us now, so.
Then we booked it to Wind Cave National Park. We didn't have to use our pass, like our park pass, to get in. We're kind of like on this little mission to see like where we have to pay and where you can just kind of go into the national park for free, just to see it. Well, obviously our park pass is already worth it to us, like the money that we spent on it.
Yeah, we gone to like 10 or 11 parks.
Yeah, and probably had to show it at least half of those.
Yeah.
But this Wind Cave, obviously it's underground, so you had to pay for like a tour of the cave, which is whatever.
And there was a museum there at the national park, again, another museum, bragging about how there was a law passed whenever it was established as a national park that said you can't charge anything, make money off of tours of the caves. And now it's like, you know, it was like, what, $15 for a ticket to go down into the caves, and we did it because we got lucky, and I guess someone like gave up their ticket so you could get one for free, and just us, like, they gave us one ticket for free, and then we just split the cost of the other one.
Yeah, so it was like $7, but
it was cool though.
It was cool.
If you've never been in a cave, I would recommend finding a cave and safely finding your way in, because they turned the lights off and you could not see anything.
After that, I'm kind of like trying to get back on being like active and everything like that, and it's also just good for your brain and body. But then we left the national park and went on this walk in, like, I don't know, the prairie, what the hell is it, like, yeah, some sort of walk. It was like 4 miles long.
Yeah, hot.
The little prairie dogs were so cute. Like, they're my favorite animal now, my new favorite animal. They're just adorable.
They just talk to you the whole time and then run away.
Yeah, they just like scream at you. And then at one point in the walk, well, a couple times, we were like kind of lost. Like,
we weren't lost, but we were unsure.
Scared.
We were unsure if we were on the trail or not.
Yeah. So, and then at one point.
But here we are. We made it. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, we're alive. But at one point there was a bunch of buffalo, and one of the buffalo was standing on the trail marker that, like, on the trail that we were going on. So we just had to walk around. We
walked all the way, like, around the buffalo, like, on some, like, going like this on the fence.
We were both making I was making eye contact with the whole time. Like, kept looking at us.
Yeah, we were ready to fight.
No, I was scared. I was scared. Were you scared?
I was terrified.
Okay, great.
I was
terrified. We were a little scared.
I can run faster than her, though, so.
Back home, like, we have, there's a buffalo farm right down the road from me, and it's like, oh, they're so cool looking, because, yeah, they're in a cage, and here's, like,
in the wild, it's like twice as big, like,
super epic, like, yeah, but it's just like, and it wasn't going to do anything to us unless we probably provoked it, so.
He was on a trail,
just us being scared.
And we made our way around the back of him, and made it back. The van was literally, like, another, like, 5 or 10 minutes after that. It was basically right at the end.
So at this point, we're in the southwest corner of South Dakota.
Yeah, and our next stop is to go to Boulder, Colorado, so you just go south from there, and so that's what we did. Ended up on some, we were on, like, when I talk about traveling being stressful in this van, like, I have broken down with this van, like, on bridges with no breakdown lanes, like, you know, like, roads that I had to, like, push the van into, like, a driveway, like, whatever. Not the best places, but this was a dirt, bumpy road that was 40 miles long, just, like, in Nebraska. I don't know, the GPS took us there, like, whatever, we made it, it's all good, but, like, no service, just, like, our only experience in Nebraska was this bumpy dirt road where, like, if we broke down again, we were screwed, literally screwed. No service, nothing. Like, we passed, like, 2 other cars, and one of them was a FedEx truck or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we finally, though, made it to a spot, passed up on it because it was so odd, and then kept driving.
We ended up staying in Wyoming, just right on, like, the line between Wyoming and Nebraska.
Yeah,
at this
the
lake.
border, like, someone drew a line and it went right under the van, so we were basically, like, on most.
No.
And But yeah, there was like some weird noises there. Free spot though.
It was nice.
It was safe.
Yeah.
And we slept. I think we slept pretty well. I don't really remember that night because we're here now, so we're fine. But yeah, and it was crazy too because throughout all of this, like, you know, you're on a road the whole time. The van has to drive on a road, and like at the start, we're like in this Midwest corn, open space, whatever, and then all of a sudden everything just gets flat. All the grass is dead. It looks like you're like on like a, I don't know, like a dried up soccer field, but like you're driving on it, and they just go for infinity. And then next thing you know, there's these humps in the ground that are the Badlands. You can drive all through them, and then still on these same roads because they're all connected, going up these hills and mountains in the forest, and then within another like 3 hours after that, we're back into like grasslands and, you know, like Nebraska territory. I don't even know what Nebraska territory is.
Nebraska.
It looks a lot like Nebraska when you're there, like you know you're in Nebraska. And it's just crazy that like roads connect all these places, and
humans will build a road anywhere.
Yeah, if we want to go there, there's definitely a road there. I promise you that. And that was pretty cool. And the best part about roads is you never know where they're gonna take you. So that being said, if you want to see where the road takes us, subscribe, follow along on our journey. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your grandma, tell your friends.
See what we're up to in Boulder next time.
Yeah, next time.
If we get there.
Yeah, if we get there.
You never know what the van's gonna do.
Yeah, this was a good adventure. South Dakota, I mean, I don't know next time we'll go back, but I definitely want to go back to the Badlands and like spend more time. I think that's another thing we're learning is we want to be able to spend more time somewhere, and like,
and it helps to have money.
Yeah, money too. Like
That's what we're finding.
Fuck work on 3.
Thanks though.
1, 2, 3. Fuck work. Peace.